But tell us a little bit about how you found yourself where you are.
Wow. Actually, I grew up on a farm in Indiana and really rejected that lifestyle. I hated every minute of it. I couldn't wait to move to the city, live in town. I was never going to do anything that was dependent upon the weather. I couldn't stand it. And of course, I decided I was going to be an architect. I went to college and I discovered landscape architecture, and it just seemed to really make sense to me. So I went that direction, and I got my degree, and here I am, dependent upon the weather once again. And I came up to this area to find work, and I was fortunate to start working for a small firm. And just a couple of years into my employment with them, the two partners came to myself and a coworker and asked us if we wanted to buy them out. So we thought, I was 24, 25. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Why not? No problem. So it took us about 18 months to really come to an agreement and sign papers, and then it was mine, mine and my partner's, lock, stock, and barrel. And then about 2.5 years ago, I actually bought my partner out, so now I'm the sole proprietor. I rebranded, changed the name completely. I finally feel like my business is truly me. It's my face. It's my soul is in the business, and it's really exciting. It's really, really exciting to see it all taking shape and coming to fruition. So it's just a lot.
What was the scariest moment for you? In either one of those major transitions, the first buyout or the second one, or maybe it was something in between.
It was, quite honestly, the scariest part for me was how uncomfortable I had to get to finally get rid of my business partner. I mean, it got to the point where, and I regret this. I regret that that our relationship and that whole experience degenerated to the point where there was just so much negative energy and anger, and it was a very combative relationship. And that was the hardest part. I mean, I really regret that it got to that point. That's unfortunate. And luckily, there's been a certain amount of healing of that relationship and a certain amount of discussion that we've had. We'll certainly never be best friends, but at least the true animosity and anger is put to rest, which is really good. But that was the worst part. That was just
And that huge opportunity in that, it's so painful. We've probably all had experiences where we've let relationships drag out that were not healthy for us, or that were just challenging in ways we can't begin to explain. And so you have that happen once in a big way, and you begin to really make different decisions, I think, in your life as a result of it. You see the world in a different way. And the great news is that you're ready to you're open to healing that and to the reconstruction of the relationship. Yeah. Tell me a little bit, or tell us about how important passion is in you feel in the success of your work, or just in general.
Well, I remember when I was younger, growing up on a farm, we really didn't have much. We didn't have any money. We were very. We had a garden, not because it was chic and it was a cool thing to do, because if we didn't, we wouldn't eat. It was that kind of a lifestyle. And I remember as a kid growing up, wanting so badly to, excuse me, to get away from that and not have that. And I thought money would solve everything. Oh, if I had, I'll make a lot of money and everything would be great. I don't care what I do. you don't have, money can buy happiness. Yeah, anybody who says it can't, they've never not had it. But I've really come to understand that passion is important. I mean, if you don't love what you're doing, what's the point? What's the point of doing it? And I think of how much every day is such a pleasure because I'm passionate and excited about what I'm doing. So it's like a party every day. And I don't even know who it was, but the quotation of, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. It's so true. It is so true. I mean, I just feel like I'm going to play every day to the point where I want to go there on weekends and do things, this, and I mean, I enjoy it that much at this point. It's just so exciting. And I mean, it doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you love it. It's the right thing for you.
Did you know when you first 24 years old they asked you to buy? Did you think
Well, I grew up. I mean, my dad farmed. My mom was a hairstylist, and both owned their own businesses. Now, so I knew what it took to be a business owner. I mean, I know the sacrifice, but I also can see the benefit of it. The rewards, and so for me, I kind of always knew that at some point I would work for myself. I knew that I wasn't going to work for other people my entire life. I didn't know what I was going to be doing, but it was pretty obvious in my mind. There was no question. So, I mean, I guess it has. There obviously been surprises along the way, but it's really been pretty close to what I kind of expected. I mean, as far as the time commitment, and there are always the little things that pop up that didn't see that coming. But fortunately now at this point, I am finally at a place where instead of getting all flustered and upset, I really can sort of roll with it. Say, I don't feel right. It's all good. Fine.
Well, why did you choose architecture, and then why did you specialize further with landscape architecture?
Well, when I was in middle school, we were required to take a drafting class. That was part of it was, a few weeks of drafting, a few weeks of art, a few weeks of home ec. So I took drafting. It was so easy. I mean, I was really, really good at it. I didn't even have to try it. I got A's. I'm like, this is simple. I'm like, people actually do this for a living? You get paid for this? You're kidding. So I took a few little, mini course classes and stuff in architectural drafting. This is really cool. I have two cousins who are architects, and I'm like, I'll just do that. I can do that and get paid for it. That's cool. So in high school, then I took drafting and art, all 4 years, and prepared myself to go to school to be an architect. I was going to be an architect, and I didn't even know landscape architecture existed. I had no idea that was even an option. And when I got to university, I went to Ball State, and at Ball State, in the College of Architecture and Planning, they have 3 disciplines. There's architecture, landscape architecture, and urban planning. And the first year before you declare a major, you have to take an introductory class to each of those 3 disciplines. And then you make an informed decision as to what major you want to choose, and then you go for 4 more years to get your degree. So the architecture professors were total jerks. They were just, and I realized that, okay, not only do I not want to be like that, I certainly don't want to work for them. And landscape, I mean, they were just, ugh, I didn't want to, be that way. And the landscape architecture professors were very laid back, very down to earth, very common sense, and they weren't as egocentric, and they weren't motivated by building monuments to themselves, essentially, is how I interpreted it. They were just much more grounded. They were much more down to earth, literally. And so I thought, well, this is the way to go. Probably the way to go. And I have not regretted it one day. I mean, it's definitely has been the right choice for me.
Yeah, it was the right choice for you. As an outsider looking in, it was the right choice.
Definitely.